Hey everyone, I'm here at the Womlinger Chapel and have a beautiful sight to the valley over here. Oh, but that's not why we're here. Dominon Menagerie, the rulebook got released. And I'm not going to go over all the card-shaped things because I don't have the time. I will do those later. But I want to do all the cards that we don't know yet and react, look over them. Are there any extra rules? Sample turns, horses. Okay, here are the cards. This one we know, Barge we know, Black Cat, Bounty Hunter, Camel Train, Cardinal. Cardinal got revealed today, no, yesterday. It's a pretty sweet attack. Okay, Cavalry, nice. 4 cost actions, just gain 2 horses, and then when you gain this, 2 cards, a buy, and if it's your buy phase, return to your action phase. Hey! Nice, a new villa type effect. But you don't get another action. So, yeah, if you have actions left and did need the draw, this is here for you. I can't wait for the cavalry villa type of deck. And it doesn't go to your hand. You get the 2 cards, so and a buy, so you can at least buy something else. You can play the treasures you have, and if you have actions left, you can continue. Cool. I will enjoy playing with this, I think. There will be nice kingdoms. I mean, if Villa was cool, this is about as cool. The effect isn't that great, but I mean, it's like Villa. The effect wasn't great. Just what you can do with this, gain and play and buy. Switching between the buy and the action phase is awesome. So this is cool. Gain 2 horses as an effect is like Enchantress that is more delayed. You draw 2 cards later. Not as so yeah. It's fine. It's not a duration card, Enchantress, and then there's this awesome effect. Okay, Coven, you know that one. Next page. Destrier. So Destry with Destria. Okay, 2 cards in action. It's a lap. During your turn, this costs 1 less per card you've gained this turn. So, if you have gained 2 cards, this already costs less than a lap. It's a super vanilla effect. 2 cards, 1 action. Pretty boring, I must say. And I mean, it's so obvious that you want these. The question is, how often can you get this cheapish? By itself, sometimes you will buy it for 6 because there's nothing better there. And also you can, if you were able to gain it like once, or gain it like for 5, and then you can Ironworks for it for 4, and it gets cheaper and cheaper. Yeah, interesting. I mean, the effect during your turns is costs 1 less per card you've gained this turn is interesting, but it reminds me a bit of Peddler. And the effect is like a Peddler is something you always want, so it's like a no-brainer to go for it when it's cheap. There will be games where you just empty this pile in 1 turn, I feel. And I'm not sure I like it that much, but we will see how it plays. Maybe it's cool. Might lead to a lot of resigns. Displays. Is it remodel type effect? 5 coins. A 5 cost, exile a card from your hand, gain a differently named card costing up to 2 more than it. Okay, a card like this was even in the fake cards, I think, right? So you have a trash for benefit card that doesn't really trash. It's good to keep your province around. I mean, you can exile your province for a platinum or a gold. It's nice. You exchanged it basically, and it's on the exile mat now. That's cool. And it will be good for estates. And then it's fine to exile a silver. Maybe you gain it back, maybe you don't. Or you exile your village and gain a lab, and get the village back later. That's going to be nice. I mean, it's a 5 cost. Will probably not be among the most powerful 5s because you can't mill provinces with it. It has to be a differently named card. But other than that, it's pretty sweet. Falconer. Falconeer or Falconer? Probably Falconer. A reaction card, 5 cost. Gain a card to your hand. Well, gain a card to your hand costing less than this. Okay, will the cost change? No. So gain a card to your hand costing 4 or less, unless there's cost reduction. When any player gains a card with 2 or more types. Any player gains a card with 2 or more types, okay, funny. You may play this from your hand. I mean, whoa, that's a pretty wonky trigger. Triggering on something that has 2 or more types. So sometimes it won't be able to trigger, well, it always will be able to trigger on itself, I guess. I mean, online you will be asked to trigger it, I think, but in a real game with real cards, it might be hard to remember that now you can trigger it because someone gained a spirit and that has 2 types. But it's kind of cool, and then you get to play it for free without that it doesn't cost an action to play then. I expected not to trigger that much. If someone has this, the other player will think twice about gaining those cards, but on the other hand, if you only need to buy 1 card and then your opponent will never gain dual type cards, that's a win for me, I guess. And the effect on its baseline is fine. It's Sculptor without the Villager, and Villager for treasures, unless there was cost reduction. So I wonder why it had to say cost less than this and not up to 4. Interesting. Maybe someone was worried, Donald was worried about triggering it with cost reduction in play, then you suddenly gain the last province. I don't know. But it's what it is. It's not like any longer because it's that. Okay, the effect is nice. Sculptor without a villager is usually still a good card. Sometimes you can even play it for free. The sculptor comparison is kind of obvious, right? Sometimes you have the villager, sometimes here you don't have to pay an action for it. Okay, Fisherman. Card and action a coin, so a peddler, 4/5. During your turns, if your discard pile is empty, this costs 3 less. So 2. So everyone can open it, kinda. I mean, opening peddler has never been a problem. There's poacher. There's treasury if you have a 5/2. It will be nice on the 2/5 for sure. And if you draw your deck, the first thing you buy will be this. I think a peddler for 2. Oh, insects. Okay. I think a peddler for 2 isn't as broken if you can only get it once per turn. It will be nice with Watchtower, then you top deck it and the discard pile is still empty when you have drawn your deck. Or Tracker or something like that. Tracker on the first shuffle. And you have the pouch in hand, and then you get 4. You can buy 2 of those. I mean, 2 peddlers have never been broken. Pretty basic card, but it will be fine. Gatekeeper. Probably also pretty powerful here. I can't think of many games where you wouldn't buy this for 2. And then there's also the trash for benefit thing that you can trash it as if it was a 5 on some turns, on most turns. Okay, Gatekeeper. Duration card, 5 cost, action, duration, attack. At the start of your next turn, +3. Until then, when another player gains an action or treasure card, they don't have an exile copy of it, they exile it. Oh, okay. This seems interesting. This sounds interesting, like a type of attack. I don't think we had that yet. It's like they delay their buys, but of course they can react to it and buy something else. I think at the start of the next turn +3 coins isn't the best effect. Like Swamphack has it, and Raider has it, and those cards aren't that great because of those effects, but of course they are fine. And the attack thing seems pretty brutal, actually. If you can get 2 of these going early, every second time they buy something, they will gain both copies, of course, so it's like you delay what they are building up to. Maybe you would have been better just building your deck instead. It seems like a card where the person who is ahead will stay ahead if they can play this. Yeah, this will be interesting. Don't think it's too powerful, but probably okay. And Goat Herd, 1 action, 3 cost. You may trash a card from your hand, +1 card per card the player to your right trashed on their last turn. Hey, second player advantage. At least a little. So might be a cantrip on most turns because both players went for some trashing, I guess. If the opponent had a chapel or a donate turn, oh no, donate doesn't count because it's between turns. So if your opponent chapel, then it's amazing. An action treasure card is pretty bad. If you get to draw 1 card with it, it becomes kind of decent. That's like Race trashing an estate. And any more is real good. I think you have to be careful to not trash much more. On the other hand, trashing is so good. So you might not care if your opponent activates this. Plus card, your player to your right trashed on their last turn. Does it work? No, it doesn't work with trashing attacks. It's a bit weird to have this in an expansion with Exile instead of trashing. Seems like a weakish card. I mean, an action treasure card is okay. And Groom. Gain a card costing up to 4. If it's an action, gain a horse. Treasure, gain a silver. Victory card, 1 card and 1 action. So it's Ironworks just with different bonuses. What? I wouldn't have expected that we get an Ironworks where just the bonuses are different. So with the action you can gain a horse now, which is real good. Treasure card, gain a silver is real bad unless you really wanted to play Groom money. And victory card is good again, but I mean the victory cards costing up to 4 are not that great. Hey, it's a completely buffed Ironworks if you only plan to gain victory cards with it. So Groom Silk Road Rush, huh? Seems finally decent. Or Groom Gardens. But I think this card is nice. As Ironworks is nice, you can't chain it on actions that much, but just playing 1 every turn and gain a horse with your action is really good. I like this. Hostelry. 1 card, 2 actions, so a village. For 4, when you gain this, you may discard any number of treasures revealed to gain that many horses. When you gain this, you may discard any number of treasures revealed. Oh, okay, so it's like a different wording for overpay. That doesn't work on money, but on cards. To gain that many horses, okay. So you kind of had leftover treasures, and then you gain horses for that? Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, it's a village and then like an on-buy effect with overpay mechanic, kind of. Could have been in guilds, honestly, with overpay. But of course horses are not in guilds. I think if the rulebook space would not be a problem, you could easily do it with overpay. It's different, of course. You can't use virtual money And silver doesn't give you 2, but maybe it would have been too strong with overpay. And hunting lodge, another village for 5. 1 card, 2 actions. You may discard your hand for +5 cards. Wow, that's real good. It's like Cursed Village but better, right? Of course you have to do it before. Like if you have a village, if you have this and your terminal paylord in hand, you can't really do it in the order you wanted to, but chances are you will draw something good, and this is a spinning card. It's really much spinning here. The arts, I can't really evaluate the art here. It was really the teaser was really discard your hand, huh? So I think this card is powerful. Discard your hand for 5 cards, and a village on top of it will work with a lot more draw to X decks as usual. And you don't have to do it, that's the thing. You can use it just as a village if your hand was so good. And you maybe have another hunting lodge in hand. So the first hunting lodge, you play this, then you play all your other actions, you have no cards left, then you play a hunting lodge. It's a bit weird that you first draw a card, then discard it to draw 5 cards. But okay, yeah, pretty cool. But of course 5 is also expensive. Cursed Village or this, what is better? I think this is better because you don't hex yourself. Kiln, we know. I'm not that high on Kiln anymore. Library, we know. Mastermind, we know. Paddock. 2 coins, 5, also for 5. Always this. It's important how much the cards cost, right? 2 coins, gain 2 horses, 1 action per empty supply pile. Another one of these, huh? So +2 coins, gain 2 horses for a 5 cost is hard to evaluate. I think 2 coins and 2 cards, like what, but the cards are on the next turn, or possibly on the next turn. I think this isn't bad actually, especially if action supply piles run out, then this is like really good. And it might even become a village at some point. So I think this will be a good card on some boards. If no pile runs out, it's still okay. 2 coins and 2 horses. Sanctuary. 1 card, 1 action, 1 buy. So like Market Square. Then you may exile a card from your hand. So Junk Dealer with a buy instead of a coin, and the cards aren't trashed. So it's better for trashing your estates and even getting rid of provinces. This is going to be very powerful, especially because it's a May, so you don't have to do it. You can just use it for the buy in your engine. And exiles, usually unless it's for curses or if you have like Wall or Wolf Den, it's better. So pretty useful card. Scrap, we know. Is that it? Sheepdog. Slay. Hey, Slay is real. Gain 2 horses as a reaction. When you gain a card, you may discard this to put that card into your hand or onto your deck. Okay, that's cool. Like, it's a Watchtower reaction, but you have to discard it, not reveal it. And then you can even gain the card into your hand. I think it's discard because there might be loops otherwise. And it can trigger on itself. Like, you have 2 slays. One of them play against the horses, then you can gain one of the horses into your hand, and the other, no, not the other, just one of them. The other does nothing. So, as a 2-cost action that gains 2 horses, this is like, again, like Enchantress, but of course different. But the draw power, if you just compare draw power, so that might be fine. And then I think you have to make use of this reaction. to really have really do something with this. Put that card into your hand. So you can gain to hand with it. Then maybe you draw to X and draw the sleigh again. This is tricky, and of course it's just a 2 cost, so I mean it doesn't have to be that powerful. So then we know that and that and that. Village Green, also known. Ooh, this seems to have a lot of rules text. Wayfarer we know. Okay, that was it. Okay, so thanks for watching and see you on the landscapes. I'm excited. It will be released online tomorrow. Don't know if I will have much time to play, but I will try. And I think most of the cards I saw now were pretty good and pretty fun. Unless the card I liked the least, I think, was the lab with the cost reduction. So, see you all. Goodbye.